Hello, my name is Jim Hogan, and I am a graduate student at Drake University. I am taking ALOP 247, Adult and Organizational Learning, from Dr. Thomas Westbrook. This is my Picacha presentation on shared vision and organizational learning. Shared vision is the foundational cornerstone to develop team learning and ultimately a culture of a learning organization. This paper is based on research from published professional journals, leading business books, and my own industry experiences. In the book Alice's Adventures in Wonderland, Alice asks the Cheshire Cat to tell her which way to go, and he responds that it depends on where she wants to go. When Alice replies that she doesn't care, the cat responds, "If you don't care where you are going, then it doesn't matter which way you go." Although meant as a children's story, the cat's statement is very reflective of many of today's businesses. However, some businesses do have a vision statement. For example, my employer, Ryco Solutions' vision statement is to be the premier global provider of innovative car wash solutions with world-class customer care. According to Peter Senge, shared visions emerge from personal visions. On May 25, 1961, President John F. Kennedy asked Congress to support his goal, before this decade is out, of landing a man on the moon and returning him safely to Earth. This launched the space program, and on July 20, 1969, Neil Armstrong was the first person to ever walk on the moon, proclaiming, "That's one small step for man, one giant leap for mankind." One individual's vision became shared by a nation, and the results were impactful. Dr. Martin Luther King, in 1963, delivered his "I Have a Dream" speech, spoke of racial unrest gripping the country, and shared his vision of what the future could look like. Although King was assassinated, his dream did not die. It transformed into a shared vision that became the fuel that drove civil rights reform in this country. When Henry Ford decided to produce his famous V8 motor, he chose to build an engine with the entire 8 cylinders cast in one block, and instructed his engineers to produce the design. They eventually came around, enrolled in his vision, and ultimately figured out a way to cast the single block V8. More recently, Steve Jobs' vision of a computer for the rest of us sparked the PC revolution and made Apple an icon of American business. As Jobs observed, "If you're working on something exciting that you really care about, you don't have to be pushed. The vision pulls you." According to Peter Senge, in most contemporary organizations, relatively few people are enrolled, even fewer committed. The great majority are in a state of compliance. They support the vision to some degree, but they are not truly enrolled or committed. Let's put this into perspective with a short story. We've probably all heard the tale about the chicken and the pig discussing their participation in the breakfast meal. The pig is telling the chicken that she is only involved in the meal, while the pig, on the other hand, is totally committed. If you look closely at this picture, you can see that the chicken was merely doing the minimum in her role of supplying the eggs. However, the pig obviously played a much larger role and was totally, or at least partially, enrolled in the breakfast vision. Another way to look at how employees commit to a shared vision is from the results of employee engagement surveys. For example, the Gallup Q12 focuses on 12 key expectations that, depending on how answered, will slot employees into one of 3 categories: engaged, not engaged, actively disengaged. Unfortunately, the most current survey results indicate the following: engaged employees 28%, not engaged 54%, actively disengaged 17%. As you can see, 71% of employees are retired on the job or deliberately undermining the company and their coworkers. How can organizations get from apathy and disengagement to commitment? The answer is through strong teams and organizational learning. Senge believed team learning is vital because teams, not individuals, are the fundamental learning units in modern organizations. Unless teams can learn, the organization cannot learn. Teams need enthusiasm to learn. Once there is enthusiasm, people begin talking more about the vision and actually begin pursuing the vision until they reach some clarity around the shared vision, thus creating a reinforcing loop. As the vision clarifies, a culture of learning begins to emerge. According to Hodgkinson, when organizations adopt the concept of a learning organization, it allows strategies to emerge which will be influential in providing strategic direction for those organizations, thus enhancing their effectiveness. At Ryko Solutions, to support the new vision, a new set of values were developed. Collectively, these values support the new vision. The company as a whole is in the process of learning how to change their behavior to support this shared vision. As someone relatively new to the company, it has been interesting to me to see how every functional puzzle piece, from research and development to manufacturing and operations to sales and service, is interconnected to support the Ryko Solutions vision. In summary, a vision is truly shared when you and I have a similar picture and are committed to one another having it, not just each of us individually having it. When people truly share a vision, they are connected, bound together by a common aspiration. Thank you for watching my Picacha presentation.